I think Merlin is the next biggest series to hit the screens, and I think everyone's going to love it.
I would describe this series as a swashbuckling magical adventure.
I think Merlin is fantastic family viewing.
It's certainly been a huge event in my life. It's got all the ingredients to be something quite special, and hopefully it will be.
Stress, adrenaline, fun, excitement. Watching a series come together in front of your eyes is a real privilege.
I certainly think kids are going to love it.
There's fun and wit and fantastic action set pieces that I think is going to keep people just glued to their sets.
It would appeal to such a broad audience because there's like great action sequences for the kids, but some of the stories are quite deep actually. Some of them are quite dark.
Merlin's a chance to see something magical and heroic in a world that isn't like that.
It's the best thing on television. I am the producer of Merlin alongside Julian Murphy, and also one of the co-creators of the show. I think the thing that's different is that it's quite an original take. What we wanted to do is ask a question: what would it have been like if Merlin and Arthur had been young contemporaries? So it's starting the story of Merlin and Arthur really before the legend that we all know starts. With a high concept drama, you're creating a whole world with its rules and with its characters. So as a producer, that's hugely challenging. We have Julian Ryan-Tutt, Michelle Ryan. The makeup department were particularly excited to be meeting Santiago and spending lots of time with him first thing in the morning. And then on the prosthetic side, we use Mark Coulier, who is an absolute genius. Julian and I have always wanted to work with him, but he's always been busy doing the Harry Potter films. And so when Merlin came along, we were like, right, let's call him up and stalk him. The dragon was something that we always talked about being in the script, but it was something that Julian and I were very worried about, and we really wanted him. We were just thinking, how the hell do we achieve this? So we had very early discussions with the Mill. I mean, we've worked with the Mill on other shows, so we've got a very good working relationship with them. And Julian and I were going, how do we make this dragon not look naff?
The Mill is a visual effects house and post-production house in Soho. It won an Oscar for its work in the film Gladiator in 2001. And the other big show we work on is Doctor Who. They first mentioned doing a talking dragon, and we said, yeah, we bit their arm off when they said that, because if you're working in this business, that's the kind of thing you really want to be doing. It's an extremely difficult challenge to make a dragon talk, because while we've done other talking characters with a bespoke facial tracking system that we've invented over the last few years, they've normally been sort of humanoid figures, and you can make a chimpanzee talk because you can track the facial expressions of an actor onto a chimpanzee or a monkey, for example, because it looks vaguely humanoid. But a dragon, which has kind of a more it's quite a hard one to make talk. John Hurt has one of the best voices in the acting profession today. It really helps us to have a slight exaggeration of the facial performance because it translates really well onto, the model of the dragon. So his performances are always amazing in whatever he's in. So, the dragon is another John Hurt performance. Throughout the series of Merlin, there is a cast of mythological creatures that Arthur and Merlin have to face or that pose a threat to Camelot. There are spiders, there's a griffin that attacks Camelot and villagers outside. We have a cockatrice, we have a questing beast, we have CG snakes in the second episode that come to life out of a shield. So there's a lot for people that work in our business to play with, and it's a lot of fun. And I think you obviously need a degree in mythological creatures to get to grips with some of it.
My name's Colin Morgan, and I'm playing the part of Merlin. There's certainly a lot of parallels, I think, between me doing this job and me in real life. I think for myself, coming from Armagh in Northern Ireland, this a small town, and come to somewhere like London, for example, is kind of parallels between Merlin and myself. This certainly is a big challenge. For a start, there's so much variety. I mean, within an episode of CGI stunts that you have to do, followed by dramatic scenes, followed by talking to a green ball. I mean, those kind of challenges are something which it takes a while to get used to. As in terms of where the scripts are going, we have no idea. It's as much a surprise to us as to the audience. And but certainly the writing is fantastic, and we get it's like Christmas whenever an episode comes through because you're getting to see it for the first time, and so we're just very excited about where it's all going to go. As an actor, you can never stop learning anyway. But I think Richard Wilson is a good little is a good teacher to have. I think in the scenes, you can't help but rub off and have pick up on his kind of technique as well. I was very excited to get to do my first stunt because it was my first stunt on the show, first stunt ever, really. So whenever they were linking me up, I was well excited about it. And but it wasn't painful. It was fine because they had like padded the wall and all that. So but yeah, I was well excited to get to do it.
This is a very different take on the story. This is before they were famous. This is Merlin and Arthur when they were young. Arthur is a prince, and Merlin is yet to be the famous wizard that we know and love. I've never been involved in such a vast project. To give you an example today, I've been shooting on the stage here in Cardiff, overseeing a second unit, with Merlin in a big CGI cave set. Yesterday we had an evil fairy elder being photographed against a green screen flying through the air. A couple of weeks ago I was in France fighting an evil zombie wraith type character with a gang full of stuntmen with lots of swords and explosions. It truly is an enormous kind of canvas to play with, and hopefully thrilling to watch. In fact, it will be thrilling to watch.
I'm Bradley James and I play Arthur. We see Camelot at a time that's, I suppose, pre the sort of familiar myth, pre the stories, the familiar stories that everyone's kind of aware of, sort of grows up knowing. We start with Merlin and Arthur in their younger years, where we sort of see the process of what they go through to become the men that we know that they're going to become. And their relationship is a little bit tetchy at first.
I'm playing Uther with a U, not Arthur with an A, because Uther with an U goes U, not R. Uther Pendragon, who is Arthur Pendragon's father, he basically is the underbelly and the sort of the darkness of the kingdom, and he's basically what opposes Merlin and Gaius and all the forces of magic that are trying to sort of to make them, you know, to bring magic back into the kingdom, and Uther is not having any of it. You walk through the gates and you're in this cobbled courtyard that has got the vibe that it's, you know, it's lived in, and it's the only medieval castle one I've been in that's kind of not got great chunks of stone missing. So you're in what, to all intents and purposes, is a working castle.
Well, Lancelot and Merlin meet at the very beginning of episode 6, where Merlin is being chased by a huge griffin, and suddenly we see someone save his life, and that someone is Lancelot. So it's great. He starts off as a hero already, and so that relationship, you can see there's a real loyalty there, and Merlin is extremely appreciative towards Lancelot. And then things turn around where Merlin ends up helping Lancelot out himself. I think it's a show that has a huge potential, looks great, there's great characters, great storyline, a lot of action, full of adventures, so that should really have a big attraction for worldwide audiences.
My name is Katie McGrath and I play Morgana. I think the main thing that's going to set it apart from everything is that sort of the extra character in the show is magic. It's this unknown quantity. It's this, you never know what's going to happen in each episode and how it's going to play out. And alongside that, it's more about this version of King Arthur is more about the relationship between all the characters, and it's very much following the characters as they grow. It is a huge project. I mean, we filmed for 8 months, and we're on location for some of that, and we're in studio, and we film in France in the most fantastic chateau. When we all first came up to it, as a cast collectively stopped and in awe, because this was exactly how we thought Camelot should look. And when you see that, I guarantee you're going to think it's CGI, because you can't imagine that something that beautiful actually exists. It's special, it's different, and it's exciting.
There's great surprises to come.
Amazing, it's spectacular.
I was completely blown away.
The makings of a truly universal show.
By the time you finish watching episode 1, you think, what is going to happen next? It's absolutely amazing. It is Camelot. When you go out there, it is Camelot.